All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Happy Saturday evening to you. It's still, it's evening for me. Might still be afternoon for some of you. But hello, it's good to see you guys. Y'all put the biggest smile on my face seeing everybody here in the chat. Welcome to the show. Today is Saturday, February 4th, 2023. Hey, Kimberly. And you are now watching a deeper PTE. I'm your host, PTE, also known as Permission to Exist. And it is good to see you guys here on this channel again. I think this is the first time this year for 2023 we've been over here. So welcome. Hey, MCer, good to see you. And hello to everybody in the chat. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. I think I got everybody. Welcome, you guys. Welcome to the first live stream of Odd Reality. So some of you know that I've done a couple of different videos in this series, Odd Reality. I have linked that playlist in the description box for you if you've missed any of them. Only done about 6 so far, but that is not for a lack of content because I think I have like 30 different stories to do for Odd Reality. But as you guys know, the end of last year was very, very busy for me. And this one was just a little bit too current for me to wait until I finished all the other ones to talk about this because this one is kind of happening now. And I shouldn't be laughing at it, but it's kind of funny to me. The whole situation kind of tickles me, even though it shouldn't. It's actually very, very serious. But we're going to talk about it tonight. Welcome, everyone, to the first live episode of Odd Reality. And if you guys end up liking the odd version, it's all odd. If you guys end up liking the live version, I'll do more live versions of Odd Reality and fewer videos. So we'll just kind of see how it all shapes out. Hey, everybody, welcome. Hey, Jen. Hey, Heal That. Hey, Nerds World. Good to see you guys. Hey, Nancy. Good to see you all. Oh, my goodness. I missed you guys so much. Y'all know that low key, this is my favorite channel, right? Low key, this is my favorite channel of the many different channels that I've launched. Low key, this is my favorite. It really is. I love them all. They all belong to my heart, but low key, this is my favorite one. So welcome, everyone. We're going to talk about 3 different topics tonight. We are going to talk about this strange spiral that appeared in the Hawaiian night sky that the mainstream media quietly buried and kind of didn't want to talk about it very much. Thank God for Twitter, because that's where I saw the story. Had it not been for Twitter, I probably wouldn't have heard about this at all. So we're going to talk about this strange spiral. Hey, Alexis. Then we're going to talk about this balloon, this Chinese spy balloon. Then we're going to talk about the fact that they claim that the Earth's core, the inner core, they claim that it has stopped spinning. And my initial reaction to that is, yeah, I can tell. I can definitely tell that it has stopped spinning. So we're going to talk about all that tonight and probably more. We'll probably deviate into some other subjects as well. You know how we do. So welcome to the show. Let's start off with this mysterious spiral that when I saw this, y'all, I was like, WTF? Like, what is going on? I was like, has the portal finally opened? Is it time? Is it time? A mysterious flying spiral above the Hawaiian night sky was likely caused by a SpaceX launch. Okay. All right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video for you. See with your naked eye. And some people went out and took pictures of it. I didn't get a chance to see it. I was super bummed out. There was a lot of cloud cover and a lot of rain in the area the past couple of days. So I didn't get a chance to actually see the comet, and I think it's gone now, and it's not going to come back for another 50,000 years, allegedly. So super bummed out about that. Did any of you see the green comet? Apparently it was visible and you could see it in the night sky. But anyway, I'm going to play this video for you while I read the article, okay? So here we go. A Japanese telescope captured images and video. Uh-oh, it's not playing. Why is the video not playing? Hold on. Play. What happened? Let me hit that refresh. Let's try again. All right, let's try this again. All right. A Japanese telescope captured images and video of a flying blue whirlpool shape over Hawaii on January 18th. The Asahi Star camera captured a mysterious flying spiral over Mauna Kea, Hawaii, which seems to be related to the SpaceX company's launch of a new satellite. The telescope is mounted atop Mauna Kea, a dormant volcano in Hawaii, and is operated by the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan. In the video, the object starts as a small white sphere flying through the night sky. It then widens into a spiral as it travels before fading into a ring shape and disappearing. According to the telescope's YouTube channel, a live stream viewer first noticed the event and brought it to the staff's attention. The live stream is jointly run by the telescope and Asahi Shimbun, a Japanese newspaper company. SpaceX launched a global positioning satellite into medium orbit at 7:24 a.m. that same day from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. The launch used a Falcon 9 rocket. This isn't the first time a SpaceX launch has created a mysterious swirl in the night sky. One was spotted above New Zealand in June on the same day as a Falcon 9 launch from the same Florida location. After another launch in April, the Subaru telescope captured a similar image above Hawaii. Space communities online have suggested that the spirals and other formations, like the space jellyfish, occur when rockets vent their leftover fuel. The gas is expelled at a higher pressure than the atmosphere. It is then illuminated by sunlight. Y'all blame everything on sunlight. It is then illuminated by sunlight, creating the shapes we see from down below. SpaceX and the Subaru telescope did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Okay. All right. So, what they're telling us that you're actually seeing is not what you're seeing. They're trying to tell us that the spiral was actually created by SpaceX and that mysterious portals are not opening up in the night sky above Hawaii. Now, y'all know my geography is not the greatest, but I do know that Florida and Hawaii are kind of far away from each other. Florida and Hawaii are quite the distance away from each other. Like, I think if you wanted to catch a plane from Florida to Hawaii, you're going to be flying for a while. And I think there might even be a layover in there somewhere. Now, I could be wrong because, again, y'all know my geography is not the greatest. So they're telling us that the SpaceX, which was launched in Florida, is responsible for this. The chat says the only gas that's actually being emitted is gas lighting. I couldn't agree with you more. Because since when do rockets create perfect blue spirals? Like perfect. I'm actually going to go ahead and link this story for you. I'm going to put it in the chat if you want to watch it on your device and get a better look, because there are a couple things I wanted to point out to you from this video. Several things. Let's see here. Let's just let it start over. First of all, when it first shows up, well, hold on, it's going to loop. So let's see. Look how perfect that is. It is a perfect, I'm going to make it bigger. Boom. Like, it is a perfect spiral. Since when do rockets do this, you guys? Since when? I'm asking. Since when do rockets create perfect portal-like spirals? Okay, that's my first question. But now they're going to loop it back from the beginning. All right. I mean, that is a perfect portal. Perfect. Give it a second. It's going to loop back here in a second. Now, when it first appears, it seems to like shoot something off of it. And you may not be able to see it from my screen, but you'll probably be able to see it from yours. Something shoots out and away from it. So let's take a look. So right about here, boom, it just shot something away from it. It spreads out. And after it shoots that whatever away from it is when it then starts to kind of morph into this perfect blue spiral portal. Yeah, that portal just opened. That portal just opened, baby. Okay. So that is the first thing that I want to bring to your attention. The second thing I want to bring to your attention, you may or may not be able to see on my screen, but you can probably see it on yours, is in the background, all these little things are like flying around. Do you guys see that? And I don't believe they're airplanes because keep in mind, these are space observatory satellites. They're coming from all directions. They're coming from the top, the bottom, the side. They just look like little white specks flying across the screen. But I'm like, are we not going to talk about that? Are we not going to talk about this green arrow? Look at all these little things. They're just flying all around the screen. What is that? What are those? You see the little dots, right? I mean, maybe they are shooting stars, but what in God's name is that? We're not going to talk about that? And I guess how could we when we have blue portals opening up above us, spewing out something, and then morphing into this bizarre portal? And here's my other thing. Like they claim to be able to like see all the way up to Jupiter and stuff like that. But you couldn't get a better view of this, even though that is a very good view. Like that's a very nice, crisp view of whatever that is. But you can't get a little bit closer. Yeah, you see them moving all over the place, right? I mean, what is going on up there? What's going on? What is going on in our night sky? And along that thread, see, and like a little piece floats off over here, but then this one stays down here and it's glowing and it stays in place. But they're telling us that that's SpaceX. Fine. All right, fine. SpaceX, fine. But speaking of these little flying white dots, whatever those may be, every night, not every night, I'm sorry, it's not every night, but rather frequently, y'all, probably at least 6 different times now, I'll be outside, like walking my dog, and I'll look up on a clear night and I'll see what appears to be a star. But the only issue is the star is moving. So then I'll say, oh, okay, it must be an airplane. But then when I think about it, because we have a lot of air traffic around here, when I think about it, airplanes like flash, airplanes blink lights. And that's kind of how you know you're looking at an airplane. It's either blinking a white light, or sometimes it blinks a red light and a white light. Sometimes they blink red and blue lights, but airplanes are always like blinking. So I'm like, okay, it's not an airplane because there's nothing flashing on it. That's number one. Number two, it's way too high up to be an airplane because for me to think that it's a star initially means that it's pretty much as far away as a star is or would be theoretically, right? So we've ruled out airplanes. Then I was like, well, maybe they're drones. Maybe someone is flying a drone because that's the other thing about these mysterious little stars that I see. They move very smooth and very fast for the height that they're at, for the altitude that they're at, they're moving really, really fast. So then I think to myself, okay, it must be, maybe it's a drone. And all that would make sense except for one small problem. And that one small problem is they always disappear. And I don't mean disappear over the tree line or disappear out of sight or disappear. They just keep traveling to where I can't track them with my eyes anymore. What I mean is I can see them and I follow them with my eyes until they inevitably just disappear. They just disappear. They just go away to the point where I expect it now. So when I see them now, I'll say, oh, we got another mover. Here we go. And I'll track it, track it, track it with my eyes. And I'm like, it's getting ready to disappear. And sure enough, it just disappears. The light just goes completely out. So I don't know if that means that whatever it is turning its lights out, or if it's literally just disappearing into the atmosphere. I don't know what they are. I haven't shared it with anybody because I know that most people just think, oh, she's crazy. Oh, she's nuts. Oh, she's seeing an airplane. Oh, she's seeing a drone, blah, blah, blah. And I would believe you, except for the fact that they disappear. No, I don't think drones go that high. No, I don't. Because once again, the thing about it is, when I look at it initially, I'm like, oh, I'm looking at the stars and I'm like, that one's moving though. And I'm like, whoa, that one's really moving. And I'm like, nobody else sees that, huh? I see in the chat says I saw one last night. It was falling so fast. It was kind of scary. They drop differently than planes and drones. Yes, they do. And I'm like, what is that? I can't figure it out, y'all. And of course, no one else is ever outside at the same time as me for me to be like, look at that star. Now watch, it's moving. And it literally moves across the sky and then they disappear. And I don't know where they're disappearing to. I don't know what they are. And I just think it's so strange because it's almost like whatever it is trying to disguise itself as a star because they assume that nobody is looking at the sky. I do, though. I'm always looking at the sky. I'm always watching that sky. Always. And I've seen them at least 6 different times. At least 6 different times. I have no idea what they are. So now I just call them movers. I just call them, I'm like, oh, we got another mover. But they kind of look very similar to whatever these little things are darting across the screen. They look similar to that. They don't move quite that fast, but I also think that this video is sped up a little bit. I could be wrong because I'm looking at the clock in the lower right-hand corner, and it looks like it hasn't been sped up. It looks like it's keeping normal count. But I don't know, y'all. Very strange. Good question. The chat says, is that speed in real time? I mean, according to the clock in the lower right-hand corner, it is. And if that's the case, then what are these little white things darting all across the screen? Because those definitely would not be airplanes. Those wouldn't be planes. Planes don't go that fast. And there wouldn't be that many of them. Y'all, I think it's time. I think the time is upon us. I don't know. What do you guys think? So there's that. There was a couple more pictures of it on Twitter. So here's one picture of it. It says, what? Well, somebody was asking Elon Musk, was the blue spiral seen in the sky of Hawaii related to SpaceX rockets? Sure. We'll go with SpaceX rockets. Oh, I forgot about those clouds. There have been some weird, suspicious looking clouds in the daytime. Maybe I'll pull some of those up. Let's do that real quick. Since we're talking about outer space and stuff, let's do that. Here, let me pull up another screen. Welcome, everyone. It's good to have you guys. That cloud was in Turkey. Strange cloud over Turkey. I mean, you got to wonder. All right, let's get this pulled up here. Let's see. If my computer would go any faster. Okay, here we go. So this was a cloud that appeared over Turkey. And the headline read, "Mysterious eye-shaped cloud over Turkey causes a stir online." Yeah, I bet. Let's watch the video. Hopefully there's no sound. So this is a real cloud over Turkey. And of course, they've got all the scientific explanations for it, like when the ground air meets the air from the sky, and then the sun is tilted at a 90-degree angle, and there's a little bit of frost in the wind, you get something like this. It's like, come on, guys. Come on. Like, come on. You can tell us. I think we're ready. I think we're ready for disclosure. I mean, look at this thing. They're like, nothing to see here, guys. When a volcano burps and the wind is blowing in an easterly direction, and there's a lot of iron dust in the air, then yeah, this happens. Chat says it looks like a pecan roll or a Cinnabon. Oh my goodness. I mean, what is going on? Just tell us. I think the strangest thing about this cloud is the fact that there's just one of them. You know what I mean? Just one random cloud just camped out. Nothing to see here though. But for the sake of YouTube, I should probably read the official explanation. Let's see. Oh, it's a lenticular cloud, and it was sculpted by nearby mountains. Okay. Nothing to see here. It is a lenticular cloud that was made by mountains. The mountains made it. Okay. Look at that. How weird, how strange and creepy. As a round orange-tinted cloud hovered Thursday over Bursa, Turkey, it might have looked like a flying saucer was about to land, but it was just a lenticular cloud, which is not uncommon in the vicinity of tall mountains. Okay? That's not uncommon. All right? Let's see here. I'm trying to see if they give a... Oh, here we go. Lenticular clouds form in linearly stratified environments, or those characterized by a perfectly layered atmosphere. Picture a settled salad dressing that has separated into layers based on the density of ingredients. The atmosphere does the same thing, we just can't see it. Under ordinary circumstances, those layers remain separated. But if an obstruction or obstacle, like a mountain, spans multiple layers, air from below can be forced upward, interrupting the otherwise perfectly layered environment. This is especially true when winds closer to the ground push air masses towards rising terrain, so they have no option but to rise as well. But air near the ground ordinarily holds more moisture than the air above it. That pocket of near surface air winds up moisture than the surrounding environment. And since air temperatures cool with height, that air parcel may be chilled down to its dew point as it ascends. When that happens, the air becomes saturated and forms a cloud. And you know what's funny? I was just joking a second ago when I was like, the ground air meets the air from the top and the bottom. I was just joking, but that's pretty much what they just told you. This is a salad dressing cloud, okay? No, it wasn't. I agree. And I say that to say that I agree. The chat says that wasn't one of the types of clouds that they taught us in school. No, it wasn't. I remember cumulus clouds, cumulonimbus clouds, cirrus clouds. I remember all those. I don't remember lenticular. But don't worry, this is just like a salad dressing effect, okay? Created by mountains when cool air rises and gets interrupted by something in its way, okay? And it's orange. Nothing to see here, folks, okay? Keep it moving. Whatever you do, don't panic, okay? So, yes, thank you for reminding me of this. A mountain made it, okay? Jeez, what are you freaking out about? A mountain made it with the clouds from the bottom and the top with the salad dressing, okay? All right. Now, let's move on to our Chinese spy balloon. Oh my goodness, this here. The chat says, what was that? Thousand Island? Right. That had to be Thousand Island dressing that created that. Because of the mountains, you see? Like they could just tell us anything. And they do. I do believe they just tell us just anything. And most people go, ooh, okay. And then they tell their kids, oh, honey, that's not a portal to another dimension. That is caused by mountain ranges when the air that normally is layered like a perfect salad dressing gets interrupted by a cloud, and then it gets pushed down and then pushed back up and regurgitated, spun around a little bit, and it makes a lenticular cloud. Oh, okay, mommy. The chat says, so it's a cloud salad. You got it. It's a cloud salad. Stop panicking. Jeez, everyone just panics over the freaking cloud salad. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now let's move on to this balloon that has had us all intrigued for the past couple of days. So, long story short, before I read the article, a balloon, a massive balloon that China claimed, China said, yeah, that's ours, but it's just a weather balloon. Relax. A civilian weather balloon at that. And it just flew off course. It's just a weather balloon that flew off course, okay? What are you panicking about? Anyway, it made its way to the United States and literally has been floating over the United States for the past couple of days. I think it actually traversed the entire country. I think it started like up in Alaska, made its way, comes to the middle of the states, and then finally ended up out on the East Coast. And I do have an update for your balloon if you haven't heard already, but I do have an update on this balloon, and we're going to take a look at that. But the conversation, no, let me back up a little bit. The Pentagon came out and was like, China has said that this is just a weather balloon. We don't believe them. We believe it's being used for surveillance. And everyone pretty much, with the exception of a few nut jobs, was like, okay, so you're just going to leave it there? We're keeping a close eye on it. Like, dude, bro, there's a Chinese spy balloon floating across the United States, visible to the naked eye. And y'all are cool with it. Like, you're not going to shoot it down. You're not going to intercept it. And you have to understand, y'all, like, you can't just go flying everywhere in the country. You have to kind of declare yourself. It's my understanding that, like, if a plane is in the sky and no one knows who it is, air traffic control can't get a hold of them, and like they're basically like an undeclared plane. I could be 100% wrong on this, so look this up. But I'm pretty sure the military has the right to shoot it down if they don't know who it is, what it is, can't make contact, none of that. I think the military has the right to shoot it down, but I'm not sure. So that said, the fact that they left this Chinese weather balloon just camped out, just chilling above United States airspace for so long really raised a lot of eyebrows with people. It really made people wonder, like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, why are you Why are you not doing anything about this? So let's take a look. This story initially was published February 3rd, even though it's been going on all week. Pentagon is tracking a suspected Chinese spy balloon over the US. The United States is tracking a suspected Chinese high altitude surveillance balloon over the continental United States, defense officials said on Thursday, a discovery that risks adding further strain to tense U.S. China relations. Pentagon spokesman, I think that's Brigadier General Patrick Ryder, said the U.S. government has been tracking the balloon for several days as it made its way over the northern United States, adding that it was traveling at an altitude well above commercial air traffic and does not present a military or physical threat to people on the ground. Speaking on background, a senior U.S. defense official said senior military officials had advised President Joe Biden not to shoot it down due to fear that the debris could pose a safety threat to people on the ground. And I don't know why this just strikes me as BS. Like, fear that the debris could pose a safety threat to people on the ground. That has never stopped you before. That doesn't stop you from launching rockets and letting their boosters fall back to Earth. Now, I know that, hey, Red, good to see you. I know that, hey, Angelica, I know that, and Kanga Kong, and anyone I missed, sorry if I missed you, welcome. Hey, Aware. I know that when they launch the rockets, they plan for the boosters to fall back into the ocean. As if that's any better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as if that's any better. But I just feel like this has never stopped them before. Right. That's what people were talking about. What if it was leaking something this whole entire time? What if it was releasing something this whole entire time? And I've heard a lot of debate about shooting it down. And some people said, well, maybe they don't want to shoot it down because they don't know what's in it. So they don't want to explode it over civilian populations because they don't know what's in it. They don't know if a nuke is in it. They don't know if some new virus is in it. Who knows? And I kind of can give a little bit of weight to that. But at the same time, my thought process is you couldn't send some drones up there and like have the drone like hook onto it and drag it out to the ocean. The chat says, but why do we have Homeland Security now? Right. Like, imagine that. Imagine that. China can send, they say it was an accident. They said it was a weather balloon that went off course. Okay. And I'll be very honest, I've never actually even seen a weather balloon before. This is my first time even seeing a weather balloon. So, how often do they fly off course? Like, how common are these things? But anyway, um, imagine China's weather balloon just casually floating over the United States, and the military is like, oh, yeah, we know all about it. It's cool. No worries. Right. And it's like, cool. So, like, what would stop China from sending more? It's like, well, they didn't do anything about that one. And apparently there is a second one, you guys. Apparently there is a second balloon, but it's over Latin America. So I have not verified that yet, but I have heard that there is a second balloon that has been discovered over Latin America. And it's like, how are all your balloons just getting loose and floating over this area? How can a balloon even travel that far and not like deflate, lose speed? If it's high, if it's higher than commercial air traffic, it's very cold up there. So this thing is designed to float almost to outer space, just about. And nothing, like, we're just going to leave it there. Well, I have an update for you, but let's continue. It says, we are confident that this high altitude surveillance balloon belongs to the People's Republic of China. Instances of this activity have been observed over the past several years, including prior to this administration. This is my first time hearing about anything like this. While the balloon's current flight path carries it over a number of sensitive sites, the official said it does not present a significant intelligence gathering risk. The balloon is assessed to have limited additive value from an intelligence collection perspective. Okay. The US, the official said, is taking steps nevertheless to protect against foreign intelligence collection. We are also tracking what abilities it could have in gaining insights and continue to monitor the balloon as it was over the continental United States. It literally floated across the whole country, you guys. Not all 50 states. It pretty much went essentially like in a straight line. Let me see if I can find the path really quick. Let me see. Let's try path of Chinese weather balloon over United States. Let's see if I can find a map that shows you the route that it took. Oh, here we go. Perfect. All right. So if you'll direct your, well, they pretty much all show it, but if you look over here to the right of your screen, it says potential balloon path. So basically, it was first spotted, I think, up here in Montana. And then it just casually, gradually made its way kind of down a little bit, cross near Omaha, Kansas City, floated over St. Louis, Johnson City, Raleigh, North Carolina, you know, just kind of casually, you know what I mean? Low key, low key. Sonia, you say this is a hoax. Tell us why. Why do you think it's a hoax? What is the hoax? Explain. That's what we're here for. This is odd reality. So let us know. Expound. So that got me to thinking about where China actually is compared to us. So here's another one. This was published by the BBC. So apparently it came from China, kind of floated over the Pacific Ocean, circumvented Russia, got caught up in the jet stream, I guess, floated over Alaska, partially over Canada, and then kind of made its way down through the US. Yeah, the balloon is taking a world tour. Like, how strange. And I guess for me, it makes me like, are we not like monitoring the sky for things just like this? Aren't we supposed to be like watching for things just like this? And is your position, well, let's just see what happens. Let's just see. Let's just see what it does. Let's see if it blows up on its own. And if your concern was that it was going to explode, if you shoot it down, the debris could compromise people on the ground. Well, shouldn't your concern also be if it deflates and just falls from the sky? It could fall on an airplane. It could fall on a highway. Like, it could fall anywhere because, by the way, apparently this thing was like the length of like 3 school buses. So it was very, very big. And I guess the satellite or whatever it was carrying on the underside of it, let me show you the picture again. Whatever this thing is on the underside is apparently very large. But no worries, it's cool. Like, it's just a balloon, right? It's just checking the weather. It's just looking out for lenticular clouds and whatnot, you know? But I guess they were concerned about all this dropping down on the ground. But shouldn't you be equally concerned that if it deflates on its own, randomly, it could do the exact same thing? That's why I would think that you would hook a drone to it and make the drone like drag it, or hook several drones to it and make the drones drag it where you want it to be, versus risking it deflating on its own or shooting it down. So anyway, it went on a world tour. And I do have an update for you. So, as of today, as of earlier today, it actually got shot down. So, let's take a look at some video of the United States Air Force shooting it down. It was shot down by an F-22 fighter jet from the Langley Air Force Base. This is an up close picture. I don't know if it's playing. Is the video playing? It says it's playing, but nothing's happening. The video is acting weird today. Let's hit refresh. All right, here we go. This should do it. All right, so this is the up close of it getting shot down over the water, apparently. Boom, exploded, and now it's falling back to Earth. I guess it's falling in the ocean. So it made it all the way to the coast of North Carolina, and that's where they went ahead and shot it down at. Boom. Just like that. I wonder what all that powder and dust is. But anyway, and here is a long shot of it. So the fighter jets are approaching. I would play the sound, but I'm trying not to get hit with copyright. I probably still will get hit with copyright, but that's the nature of the game. It just is what it is. All right. So that is someone's video from the ground as the fighter jets approach. They line up, they take their shot, they hit it, and it explodes. And in the video with sound, you can actually hear either the sound of the shot or the sound of the balloon exploding. I don't know which one it is. It's very hard to tell, but you can hear it in the video that has sound. So as of today, as of just a couple of hours ago, they actually shot it down. And I cannot help but feel like they shot it down after they got a lot of pressure from the people to shoot the damn thing down. Like, what kind of position is that to take with your people? What kind of position is it to take? Like, oh yeah, we know that there's a Chinese spy balloon floating overhead, but it's cool. No worries. Like, don't worry about it. We got an eye on it. We're keeping a close watch on it just to kind of see what it does. Like, what? You were almost better off saying nothing. But they finally shot it down. So now apparently the Navy and the Coast Guard are trying to retrieve whatever fragments of it that they can, so they can look into it and investigate what it is, what it can do, what it was doing. And apparently China is very upset and is saying things like, don't slander us. Don't hold it against us, basically. Charge it to our head and not our heart, basically, is what China is saying. So, in other words, let's not let this cause bad blood between us, even though there's another one allegedly in Latin America. I don't know if that one is still upright or if they shot that one down too. But the Chinese spy balloon is no more. It is now debris somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. Now let's see if there's been any updates. I'm going to go to see new tweets. This tweet says, first they tried to cover up that the balloon was even there. Then they tried to downplay its importance. They said, you can't just shoot it down. It's not that easy. Then they easily shot it down. Now they want credit for taking action after it was too late. And of course, the whole thing has gone political, which I just find so ridiculous. Absolutely everything turns political immediately. Like, guys, it's time to grow up, honestly. Like, we got portals opening up in the sky. We got Chinese spy balloons floating over the United States. Like, I'm trying to see if there's been any other updates. This tweet says China, excuse me, China experts predict Beijing's next move after spy balloon shot down. But China said, look, it was an accident. First of all, what is a civilian weather balloon? Is that like a normal When I hear civilian, I hear non-military, like a regular person. So are regular people in China just launching weather balloons? Okay, and people are just arguing like they always do. Like they always do. But there's one more thing regarding this that I want to bring to you guys' attention. Where is it? Right here. Okay. Yesterday, before, well, okay, let me back up. So when the balloon was still intact and when the balloon was still floating across the United States, late last night, people started posting videos from Montana saying that there was an explosion in the sky, right? And here's video of it. If I can get it to play. I gotta hit refresh again. Not sure why it's doing that, but no worries. Where's the video? Here's the video. So people were reporting that there was an explosion in the sky over Montana. And then people were also saying like, okay, they finally shot the balloon down. Well, a couple hours later, officials from Montana and officials elsewhere came out and said, no, as a matter of fact, we did not shoot the balloon down. So then that made everybody go, okay, well, then what was this then? What was this then? If it wasn't the balloon getting shot down out of the sky, then what the hell was this? I don't know. So some people have come out and said that this video is not real, that it's doctored, that it's fake, whatever. But these reports came in from all over. Look at that. You see how they're looking all the way up? So they're looking all the way up where it starts, the trail, and then they follow the trail back down. So what the hell was that then? There aren't that many people out there, y'all, who are that good in Photoshop. Photoshop is actually, well, if you know Photoshop, it's easy. But if you don't know Photoshop, it's kind of hard. People aren't that talented with Photoshop. So anyway, this happened in Montana. Let's watch it one more time. And initially, everyone was like, hooray, they shot the balloon down. And then when officials came out and said, no, actually, we didn't, then people were like, okay, well, if you didn't, then what the hell was this? So that has a big question mark over it still. Nobody knows what that was. And apparently it started from pretty high up, if assuming this video is real. Let's see if there's any other tweets about it. Y'all got to get on Twitter. It says Montana authorities address massive explosion rumors in the sky where the Chinese spy balloon was spotted. Another tweet says, I live in Montana. I have not seen nor heard of any explosion, at least not in the area I live in. This tweet says, they said there were explosions in Montana. Just how many were there? This tweet says, is it just me, or does the fact that the authorities want us to believe that this explosion in Billings, Montana was nothing make one want to question if they are hiding something? This tweet says, "What about that explosion that happened Saturday in Montana?" So, yeah, we're in a science fiction movie. And all this is coming after this portal opened up in Hawaii. Like, this one says deliberate. They're still lying. We're in for something. Still nothing on the mysterious explosion in Montana. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not proclaiming to know. All I know is there's a lot of weirdness going on, okay? But as of today, the Chinese spy balloon has been shot down. Um, I'm sure the pilot, oh, they're doing live coverage of it. Dang. I wonder if you can listen to these. I wonder if it's copyrighted. I wonder. We're gonna just try it. We're gonna risk it all here. Let's see what they're saying. This is one of the spaces, Twitter spaces.
Because of my experiences there, I've been talking about how we need to take a look at that. It's a really potentially positive factor. They believe in peace. They're not out for war, but they are also willing to fight, and they have fought with China. So to sum this up,
it's official, and Jim, it's official, by the way. Just got confirmation from the audience. Bloomberg article: India's population has already overtaken. That was 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Already, so India's officially the most populous country in the world.
Right, and
insane.
And that gets fungible as this is starting to change. But yes, that's going to happen. Their demographics are better. They do have larger families there. I know. I hang out with those families in Delhi for many years. So anyway, that's a positive factor here. But the South China Sea, the balance of power in Asia is really a key factor for what happens in the future, and that's why things have to be so good here in the United States, because we are ultimately the beacon of freedom if we can sustain it, if we can regain it. And so the implications are tremendous. But anyway, I think this has been a fantastic discussion in a very useful space for us.
It's an incredible space for such. We only prepared. We prepared it in an hour, and the guests that we had, it's going to be epic. Yeah. Piotr, go ahead. Final thoughts. I'm not sure if Patrick wants that.
Okay, it looks like I caught the tail end of it. So let me bookmark it so I can go back to it later and listen to it from the beginning. All right. So there's that. And for our final story of the evening, they claim, this came out January 23rd, 2023. They claim that Earth's core has stopped and may be reversing direction, according to a study. It says Earth's inner core has recently stopped spinning and may now be reversing the direction of its rotation, according to a surprising new study that probed the deepest reaches of our planet with seismic waves from earthquakes. The mind-boggling results suggest that Earth's center pauses and reverses direction on a periodic cycle lasting about 60 to 70 years, a discovery that might solve long-standing mysteries about climate and geological phenomena that occur on a similar time frame and that affect the life on our planet. Of course, it must be noted, this is more or less the plot of the 2003 disaster film The Core, but there's no need to worry about averting an impending apocalypse by nuking the center of the Earth. While the core's rotation influences Earth's surface environment, scientists think this periodic spin switch is a normal part of its behavior that does not pose risks for life on our planet. Earth's inner core is a solid metal ball that is 75% the size of the moon. It can spin at different speeds and directions compared to our planet because it is nestled within a liquid outer core, but scientists are not sure exactly how fast it spins or whether its speed varies over time. Located some 3,000 miles beneath our feet, the core experiences intense heat on par with the surface of the sun. Because it is so remote and difficult to study, the inner core remains one of the least understood environments on our planet, though it's clear that it plays a role in many processes that make our world habitable to life, such as the generation of Earth's protective magnetic field, which blocks harmful radiation from reaching the surface. Now, Yi Yang and Chaodong Song, a pair of researchers at Peking University's Sinoprobe Lab at School of Earth and Space Sciences, have captured surprising observations that indicate the inner core has nearly ceased its rotation in the recent decade and may be experiencing a turning back into a multi-decadal oscillation, with another turning point in the early 1970s. According to a study published on Monday in Nature Geoscience, there are two major forces acting on the inner core. One is the electromagnetic force. The Earth's magnetic field is generated by fluid motion in the outer core. The magnetic field acting on the metallic inner core is expected to drive the inner core to rotate by electromagnetic coupling. The other is gravity force. The mantle and inner core are both highly heterogeneous, so the gravity between their structures tends to drag the inner core to the position of gravitational equilibrium, so-called gravitational coupling. If the two forces are not balanced out, the inner core will accelerate or decelerate. Both the magnetic field and the Earth's rotation have a strong periodicity of 60 to 70 years. We believe that the proposed 70-year oscillation of the inner core is driven by the electromagnetic and gravitational forces. Song has spent decades trying to unravel the mysteries of the inner core by studying seismic waves that pass through this distant region. I'm trying to see, number one, how long this is, and number two, if there's anything else I want to share with you. Listen, okay. The takeaway that I want y'all to have from this is the fact that they're saying that it has stopped. So what does that mean? Because it's supposed to like reverse direction every so often, I guess. But they're saying that it has stopped moving. I find that it's either troubling or actually good news, right? Because we often talk about like what's going on Earth. It seems like the whole wide world has gone mad. Maybe this madness is connected to the electromagnetic field somehow. And maybe the Earth can feel that. Maybe the Earth is like, uh-oh, time for us to change direction. So in other words, maybe we as a species are directly connected, and our behavior is directly connected to this core somehow. And when we get too far out of control, the core basically has to stop and kind of reverse itself so we don't blow ourselves up. I know that's far-fetched, but we are on odd reality and a deeper PTE. So this also made me think about like the Mayan calendar, and number one, how it just ends somehow. History always depict like a kind of like a reversal or like a change of seasons. And I wonder if this has something to do with it. I think it's on a longer time scale than 60 to 70 years. I think it might actually be much longer. The chat says even the earth is laying flat. She just said, nope. Right? The earth is like, okay, I'm tired. I'm done. But then the disturbing thing might be like, okay, if in fact the earth's core does spin and it's supposed to spin, and if it has stopped, what does that mean? If it stops, what else stops? Like, what does it control? Does it control life itself? And if it stops spinning altogether, like, is that how these other planets ended up the way that they did? Their core stopped spinning? Mars, Jupiter, Venus, all these other planets that are quote unquote uninhabitable, they tell us that they're not habitable because they have no atmosphere. And like, obviously Mercury is a little bit too close to the sun, so it would be too hot. And then the other ones are kind of far away, so it would be too cold. Anyway, I have other thoughts, but we'll save those for a different show. But just pretending that everything they tell us about space is true. Well, what if those planets were habitable at one point in time, but their core stopped? And if the core stops, it's kind of like it stops the whole party. Like, I don't know. But the fact that this made mainstream news, I found kind of interesting. Earth's core has stopped and may be reversing direction. So I guess the questions that we need to be on the watch for are, does the core start back up? Like, is it going to start back up? And if it does and it reverses direction, then what happens? Like, does the psychopathy on planet Earth start to lessen? Because it certainly has been intensifying. And that just takes me off into just kind of like far out thoughts like, we're all connected to planet Earth. And if, for example, we as humans are experiencing too much distress at the hands of the psychopaths on planet Earth, what if our distress transmits to the core of the Earth? And the Earth is like, whoa, okay, let's reverse it then. Let's go in the opposite direction. And that leads us into a time frame of prosperity and goodwill towards men. What do you guys think? I mean, that's possible. The chat says if the core stops, it cools off. That's not good. Yes, exactly. Chat says like the heartbeat of the planet. Exactly. So if the heartbeat of the planet stops, I have concerns about that. I have some concerns. Like, is that what happened to Mars? The heartbeat just stops. And then once it stops, like nothing can grow, nothing can renew, like nothing, it evaporates its atmosphere. Like it just dies in a way. It's kind of scary. And the fact that it is so deep and scientists really aren't able to study it, y'all. Like they can guess, they can send down waves, they can do a lot of different things, and they have some very strong theories, but no one has ever actually been there. Number one, they say because it's too hot, but also it's kind of far away, like 3,000 miles into the earth. That's kind of far away. And I don't think any human being could actually survive that trip and live to tell about it. I have so many theories on space and Earth and so many thoughts. I just don't know how many of them I'm allowed to share on YouTube, because on YouTube, we have to communicate the established narrative. Oh, chat says, or is it the start of the ice age? Right. Chat says we're going to need a big ass defibrillator. Yes. I can't say the word. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The clear. Yeah. We're going to need something. Because if the core stops moving and no one really knows what happens, when that happens, we might be screwed, y'all. Because what if it is the thing that's generating Well, it says it is. Like the article just said that it is the thing generating our electromagnetic field. So if it stops, does the moon come crashing into planet Earth? Like, what if the moon's core stopped? Because the moon doesn't rotate. And I have some real problems with that. I really do. Ever since I found out that the moon does not rotate, I've been very bothered by that fact. Very bothered. So it's basically locked in its position. So we here on Earth always see the same side of the moon. Always. It does not spin. And that really bothers me because allegedly everything else in the universe spins, but our moon doesn't. Oh man, I got so many thoughts. So many thoughts. And actually, I think that's a good thing for me to look up and show you to close the show out. Let me see if I can find it. There's some video game. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's Zelda. Video game where moon crashes into Earth. And it's kind of spooky. Even though it's like animated, it's not real. It's kind of freaky. I'm going to show it to y'all anyway though, because what is this? Is this Zelda? I don't know what this is. I'm going to show this to y'all anyway though. So in some video game, this is what the main character is trying to prevent. So if you look to the right of your screen with this big creepy face. So this is supposed to represent the moon. And this is like the main character of the video game. And this is supposed to be Earth. And apparently, it is Zelda. Yep. Apparently, I guess Zelda is supposed to prevent this from happening, I guess. Here's another visualization of it. But if the core of the Earth stops spinning, and the Earth maintains the electromagnetic field, what happens next? Does the moon come crashing into planet Earth? Right? What keeps it out there? What keeps it where it is and keeps it from coming any closer? Although, oh my gosh, what day was it? It was early January. The moon was so big, y'all. And I tried so hard to take a picture of it. And I did take a few pictures, but the camera did it no justice at all. I'd never seen the moon that big before, ever. And it was just as big and crisp and pretty. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was beautiful, but it was so big. I was just like, y'all don't see that. Nobody else sees that. No one else is concerned about that. Okay, cool. I told y'all we're supposed to be doing a show called Moon Beef. And I still might do Moon Beef because I got a lot of questions about the moon. And I got a lot of issues with what we've been told about the moon. So I think I'm going to do a show called Moon Beef. But yeah, so this was in a video game. And this is the lead character trying to prevent the moon from crashing onto planet Earth. You saw it? Oh yeah, it was the wolf moon. It sure was. It was huge. I've heard the same thing, Kim M. I've heard the same thing. And that, oh man, that gives me so many thoughts. We're going to talk about it one day. I think I'm going to do it on YouTube too and just kind of risk it all. I think the way to offset it is I share my thoughts, but then I tell you the established narrative. And as long as I tell you what has been established by science, I think I'm okay. So I have to say, according to science, the moon is this and the moon is that. And then I have to pose my thoughts as a question. And then follow my question up with, well, according to science, and then I think I'm okay. I think what I can't do is I can't just state it and have that go against what science has told us. That's what I think we're not allowed to do. But I've heard the exact same thing, Kim, the exact same thing. And actually, I believe it. And the crazy part is, if it's true, then we should all be very afraid. And I'll tell you why one day. I'll tell you why, but it has something to do with the moon phases. Because if I can't, I'm afraid to say it. I'm afraid to say what I want to say just yet. I have to work on my phrasing. But if what Kim M, because there's a Kimberly and a Kim M in the chat. If what Kim M said is true, and we experience moon phases, then that means something is coming in between what Kim said and us. And based on the moon phases, it would have to make you wonder what the shape of that thing is. Y'all, it's so deep. I wish we could all just like get in like a conference room one day and just talk for real. No live stream, nothing, just us in a room talking, because I have so much to say to you guys about that topic and about that very thing that you said, Kim. Because if it is that, then you have to explain the moon phases. And if it is what I think it is, we should all be very afraid. It would actually make a lot of sense why they hide so much from us, because they just know that we wouldn't be able to handle it. They know that our little brains wouldn't be able to wrap around the magnitude of what's really going on here. We wouldn't be able to process it. We would wake up every day in pure like terror and fear. So it's better to just kind of lie to us gently. You know what I mean? Kind of like you lie to little kids, not on purpose, but it helps them sleep. You just lie to us gently, because the truth of everything is so far out there that it would terrify us daily. Like we wouldn't be able to get out of bed. So I know, right? We do need like a conference room sleepover. We could get our sleeping bags, a big old whiteboard with some fresh expo markers, a computer with an internet connection, but we wouldn't live stream it. We would just get in the room and talk. Oh, I think that would be so much fun. Maybe I should rent out a cabin in the woods. What do y'all think? With that, y'all, I think that, oh yeah, that would be so much fun. And for me to just talk, like rent out one of those big old conference rooms at a hotel or something. We get in there, sleeping bag, some hot cocoa, which I have a whole bunch of, thanks to somebody in the chat. So yeah, we'll think through that. We'll think through that, because we need to talk. We need to talk. All right. But with that, y'all, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed the live version of Odd Reality. I do have a list of topics for this particular series. And I think maybe I'll just try just kind of knocking this list out. I'll just go live. We'll cover 3 of the stories. Some of them are kind of old, like a year old or so, but it doesn't make them any less odd just because they were published a year ago. It's still odd, still strange as hell. And we still need to talk about it. For example, I don't know if y'all saw in the news last year, but for some reason in several parts of the world, animals were just walking in perfect circles. So somewhere in a country, I can't recall which one it was, like the sheep or the goats, it was either sheep or goats, were just walking in a perfect circle day in and day out. They wouldn't break the circle. So, of course, science came through and said it's a phenomenon where one goat follows the goat in front of it and the goat behind it. It was in China. They had it to where one goat was following the goat in front of it. And then because they follow each other naturally, when one goes in a circle, the other one goes in a circle. And then naturally, they just accidentally ended up in the circle. And I'm like, yeah, no, not buying it. Sorry. Not buying it. I just love how y'all have an answer for everything. as if that's a normal thing for animals to do, walk in a perfect circle day in and day out. And then I never saw any follow up. Like, did they ever break the circle? Did they ever snap out of it? Anyway, that's an example of one of the stories I've been waiting to bring to you guys. So I think I will. I think I'll just do it live instead of trying to make videos. But with that, I enjoyed this so much. I hope you guys did too. If you are on the playback squad, please leave your comments. Let me know what you think about everything we discussed this evening. And we will talk again, especially about that moon. We have to talk about that moon, okay? And with that, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll surface again somewhere around here. PTE over here, somewhere. I'll resurface somewhere soon. All right. Talk to you guys again very soon. Bye.